Alrighty, here we go for realsies now, okay? This should be it. Alrighty guys, so today's video is gonna be pretty interesting. This is something that I actually have been DM'd and messaged about quite a bit. My lord, I'm just gonna keep it rolling. Yeah. Throat's feeling a little weird. All right, what's going on, you guys? So we made it to the spot, and I just had to put on this little fuzzy mic thing because it's really windy right now, and if not, the quality of the audio is gonna be totally trash. So I'm hoping this audio is just really up there and it'll make it up for basically this little fuzzy bunny tail on my shirt. Today's video topic is pretty interesting because we're talking about the Sacramento County thing. I've actually been DM'd quite a bit about this because it really directly relates to me. I live in Sacramento County, if you guys didn't know, went to Sacramento State, but I'm really I'm on the edge of Sacramento County. It still affects me even though I'm on the edge, and it's talking about how in Sacramento County, Jalopnik posted it, a couple other big car blogs, they all posted it because they're talking about it, and it's important because it's talking about how in Sacramento County, they're starting to crack down on vehicle repairs at your own garage. You know, it's kind of the whole thing about California, you know, the taking away the rights and stuff like that. But really, it's not that big of a deal if you do things the right way. I mean, they're pretty understandable boundaries. Of course, there's gonna be outliers where some people get in trouble for not really doing the right thing or just being on the borderline of doing the right thing. And for those people, it sucks. However, if you just kind of keep it clean and know what the boundaries are, you'll be just fine. So this comes after somebody on the Grassroots Motorsports forum, he got a $430 fine. I'm getting this stuff from Jalopnik, so that's my source as far as all this goes. You guys have actually DM'd me the same article a couple of times. So basically someone said that they got a fine for working on their own vehicle at their own house. And I'm sure there are some boundaries. So what are the boundaries of a minor vehicle repair? The minor vehicle repair is basically what they call is acceptable, and everything above that or more intense than that, they deem unacceptable. And Jesus, that was a huge gust of wind. Hopefully you guys did not just hear that. So let's go over what a minor vehicle repair is. To them, it's a brake part replacement, minor tune-up, change of oil in a filter, repair of flat tires, lubrication, and other similar operations. That leaves it pretty open. The other similar operations leaves it pretty open. And that's section 5.2.0b of the zoning code. So the main thing about this is that really they don't care if you're working on stuff that's minor. They don't want you full on body shopping and painting and being an industrial shop at your house, because then you're starting to hinder on the rights of other people. And that's really where it comes down to, is basically if you have a good relationship with your neighbors, no cop is gonna drive past and just get you for working on your car or snoop around and see if you're doing anything over the minor limit, you know? It's really if you have a great relationship with your neighbors and you just respect their rights and privacy too. So I have that big Bertha, I have a DeWalt 1/2-inch impact driver. That thing on metal, if you're taking off a hard bolt, it'll go so hard, it'll just make so much noise, and it really makes your ears ring when you're using it. And I know, that garage echoes it out. It just channels it out. So I don't use that whenever it's late or whenever people are trying to go to bed or have a relaxing afternoon. I try to do it all during the middle of the day when people are either out. I try to do it when people are out and it won't bother anybody, because really that's the main goal with the car stuff, is just, it's for my own benefit. I don't need other people to, go ahead and have to suffer with me with the noise of my tools, because I know that's not a very good thing in a neighborhood. Especially imagine if your neighbor is trying to sell their house, they have an open house, and then all the person that's viewing the house hears is just just going at it for an hour straight while they're walking through the house. They're not gonna wanna buy that house. So I get that. However, as car guys and car girls, we all wanna work on our own stuff every once in a while, and it's fun. Something you can do with your friends and bond and have a good time. So I understand there are people that are really scared about this, but really, if you're not doing a full-on body shop, then you're fine. And if you have a good relationship with your neighbors, you're extra fine, because it's really coming down to who complains and who's gonna make the thing happen. Now, the funny thing about this and the interesting thing is something about the the way that it's written for the actual law. It says, however, it is unlawful for any person to engage in or permit others to engage in minor vehicle repair or maintenance in any agricultural, residential, interim estate, or interim residential zones under the following circumstances. Using tools not normally found in the residence, conducting on vehicles registered to persons not currently residing to the lot or parcel, so basically working on other people's cars for business, or conducting outside a fully enclosed garage and resulting in any vehicle being inoperable for a period in excess of 24 hours. If you're just working in your driveway, you can't do that. If the car is going to be inoperable, geez, I'm stuttering all over my words. If it's going to be inoperable for more than 24 hours, you can't do that. And if you're using a tool not normally found in a residence, you can't do that. So that's where I feel like it gets very strange, because is a torque wrench, and I'm totally like reading this off of Jalopnik, but tools not normally found in a residence, a socket set, torque wrench, impact drivers, things like that. You don't typically, like, you could walk past your neighbors and ask, and who all has that? Maybe 2 out of 10, 20% of people. So, who makes the declaration of what's normally found in a residence too, because for a car guy neighborhood, everyone's gonna have car tools. For a non-car guy neighborhood where no one works on their stuff, it's an upper class neighborhood and they always take it to the dealership, they might have like a screwdriver and a hammer. They may not have that much. So I think the main thing is they're cracking down on the off the books repair shops, which is totally fine with me. I mean, if you're gonna build a business, do it the right way. Get a shop, get insurance. If you have errors and omissions insurance, that just protects you. It protects the people that you're working on, because a backyard garage or something like that, if they mess up your car or they kill you or get into an accident because they didn't bleed your brakes or change the, whatever properly. Really, I mean, who are you gonna hold liable in that situation? Because they may not have much to be able to sue. They're not gonna be able to pay for whatever damages, or they don't have insurance to cover it because they're doing it out of their house. So just keep that in mind whenever you do these things. It's a risk that you're taking to get a cheaper price. There's the whole built not bought thing. However, for some things, buying it and having a shop that's properly trained is way better, because they're willing to help you in case anything goes wrong or anything like that. Like my clutch, for example. My clutch, I originally went to sort of a backyard shop and it didn't work out because actually something was wrong with the clutch at the time, but we got that all handled and I took it to Paramount Speed, and Paramount Speed walked me through the process, basically held my hand because I was super nervous. I thought something was actually wrong with my transmission, or I just spent, all this money on a Mantic clutch and it doesn't work. And it turns out, the clutch just had a couple tolerance things, but they had the tools, they had the skills, they had everything there and necessary to be able to test this thing and deem that, something's wrong with the tolerances. And then sure enough, it got sent out, sent back, and boom, the tolerances are perfect. And now I have no problem shifting at high RPMs. Maybe I'm really blind to it and I don't notice it. Maybe it's a huge epidemic in Sacramento County and I never knew about it, but it seems like, they're really serious about it. It's just funny that this is something that is related to me and it's so local to me because I live here. But I haven't really heard anything about it. It wasn't on the news or anything to me. It seems like kind of the same thing with the exhaust law. The exhaust law got way overhyped. I have still the same exhaust. I even have even worse tint, and I haven't really been messed with, but I also am smart about what I do. I don't, fly past everybody I can and as loud as I possibly can and have my windows up whenever I'm in a known area with lots of cops, like around the police station, for example. I'll drop the windows. It's really worth it for me to just have a couple minutes of just blazing heat out here, or just a little bit of coldness or something. And that's worth it to me rather than getting pulled over, causing that whole problem. I'm not a dangerous individual, so for me, it's like justified. However, that's totally wrong. The law is the law, and that's just how it is. And I guess the same can be said for these backyard shops. If they're willing to take the risk and pay the fines because it offsets with, the money that they're making because they're doing the work, well then, then that's great on them. I mean, they can afford the tickets, but I don't see anything about like the max number of tickets or jail time or anything like that. Maybe you're just gonna keep getting all these $400 penalties or whatever, and you're gonna have to go to court, fight them, pay all that money. But if that's something you're into, then go for it. One last thing before we wrap up is actually, I understand another part of this reading the article. It's the materials and the hazardous materials and waste. So lots of fluids and stuff like that are really bad for the environment. I know I'm catless or whatever, and I just like the sound and extra performance and engine, just being able to breathe. And that's bad for the environment too. But at the same time, some of those chemicals and stuff, I mean, you have to wear goggles and really thick gloves and stuff. So obviously that does not need to be in our water supply and all that. I'm trying to be thoughtful in the sense of being right down the middle. I'm a car guy, but I also care for the environment. as much as I can do while finding the happy medium, right? Not, you know, crazy extreme in this way, crazy extreme in that way. I just try to find the happy medium and be logical and use common sense. You know, if it's bad, you know, if I can't touch it and hold on to it and it can cause me to have skin problems and peel it off and all that, definitely shouldn't be pouring it down my drain for everyone else to have a little bit, or to have the waste management or water management have to filter it out. That just seems a little sketchy and makes me not want to drink the water. Work on the stuff at the right time in the right place and you'll have no problem. Just use common sense, and I think everyone can just benefit from using more common sense. But as Mark Twain said, common sense ain't so common, and that's really the problem nowadays, is we have to use more common sense and find a logical explanation and solution to things. It's not so black and white. It's totally more of a, you know, circumstantial problem. So if you live in a certain neighborhood, be more careful. If you live in my type of neighborhood where everyone's cool, then you're good to go. Work on your car. I'm very curious to hear what you guys have to say about this. So go ahead, leave a comment down below. Do you agree with this? What are your thoughts on it? I'll actually link to the Jalopnik article as well, so you guys can read it. It's a quick read, maybe 2 minutes. I really am curious, you know, do you guys agree with this? Is this something that should happen or shouldn't happen? Is it too extreme? Is it not enough? You know, obviously we're car people, so it's probably gonna err on the side of too extreme, but I'm definitely interested in having a conversation down below. As always, I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you did, then please comment, like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.